Jeff Hamilton, how are you?
Good, and you?
It's been a pleasure. Um, Before we get started, I would like for you to share your name with my viewers and tell them exactly what you're famous for.
What I'm famous for? I don't know if I'm famous, but my name is Jeff Hamilton, and I'm a clothing designer. And people know me for designing crazy jackets for a lot of the celebrities,
Right?
and uh, and also very few people know that I started Guess Jeans, the Guess for Men line, way back then in 1983.
That's what I brought you to my platform for. Brands like Guess has been a part of urban fashion since the beginning of time, as well as the garments that you made. There's an iconic piece, in my opinion. That's what brought me and you together. The leather that the diplomats wore with the teams all over it. Can you tell me something about the invention of that leather?
Actually, when I started with the leather jackets, and I'm sure we'll talk about it when I got started, but I had the NBA license, and I'm a big NBA fan. Obviously, I'm more of a Laker fan than any other
No
team, but I
doubt.
was a big Laker, and I said, you know what? What's the ideal way, if you're really an NBA fan, other than just an isolated team, how to show you colors.
Right.
And I said, you know what, that would be a great idea just to put everything in it. I mean, why not putting Minnesota and put Miami and put
Yeah.
Orlando and Lakers and Boston? And I came up with the idea of the concept of putting all the teams together. And believe it or not, when I came out with it, nobody liked the idea.
For real?
Yeah, first couple of years I could not sell those jackets. And then as it became more and more, it's like a good wine. It starts
It
sipping
aged.
it kind of aging it, and everybody
Right.
started loving it.
Right.
The good idea about that was that every time there was a new team that came on the scene,
Yeah.
or a team moved out, or a
Right.
logo was changing,
Right.
there was a new design. So basically, the jacket evolved from the original old logos all the way to the modern logos. But also, I revisited that when I took all the Hardwood Classics logo from the old, before the ADA and the NBA, and I made also a Hardwood Classic collection like that.
Right. Do you have a specific name for that style of jacket with the teams all over
Yeah, I
it?
call it the collage jacket.
Collage?
It's a collage, and then I was so well known for collage that I really expanded the whole idea of the collage. Of course, I did it for the MLB, I did it for the NFL, I did it for the NHL, and I did it for the All-Stars, where basically I would go to the All-Star game in the NBA, and I would put all the NBA logos from the All-Stars and put them together. And
Right.
of course, I was limited edition jacket I was doing on that, and then I expanded when I decided to put more stuff on it. I mean, not only the logos, but also put the teams on it, the names of the team, with the lettering, with the secondary logo. It was that was a mega collage,
Right.
And then I had the cluster collage, which was another one, which actually Supreme is giving me the homage to redo it.
Right.
And they're basically putting all the logos on the front chest only.
Incredible. Can you tell me your earliest recollection of knowing who the Harlem Diplomats were?
I had no idea. I had no idea who the Cameron was. I had no idea who Jules Santana or Jim Jones. I mean, since then they're like really great friends of mine.
Right.
But I had no idea. I was selling a lot of jackets in New York. I knew that my market was really just after the hip hop and like the urban business, and I was selling mostly through a store in New York called Genesis at the time, on 58th and Lexington. And he was telling me, these people came in, this guy came in, and Puff Daddy came in, and Jay-Z. Yeah, and at the time, who knew who they were? I mean,
Right.
like we don't remember like Foxy Brown. I had no idea who they were.
Right.
And we started making the stuff for Cam, and then he asked me to design a special jacket with diplomats.
Okay.
And
So you did a diplomat leather.
I did the diplomat leather with at the time was one of the most expensive jacket I have sold, which was all rhinestone.
Right.
Actually, it is in his video "Get 'Em Girls,"
Okay.
and which he mentioned my name in the song.
Right. You getting name dropped a lot lately. Tell me about the song with Vado that's burning up the downloads and charts right now.
Vado and Jim Jones, they made a song. I mean, they called me one day and said, can we use some of your jackets on the video? I said, sure, you know, I mean, because a lot of the performers use my jacket for
Right.
video, so we work out some deals where they basically can use some of my original collection, and I said, sure. He said, you know, the song is going to be called Jeff Hamilton. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, the name of the song, it's a song about you. We're talking about your Instagram followers, we're talking about your stuff. I mean,
Right.
I said, really? So, in fact, I was supposed to go to be in the video, but I couldn't make it. And
Right.
So that's how it came out.
I think
Yuck Mouse did something also.
you know, Yuck, he just texted me. He could have been here. I could have had him here.
I wish he was here because I never met him.
Are you serious? I'm gonna work on that when we get done.
Yeah. Because he made, you know, somebody from the Bay Area told me, I said, you know, Yuck Mouse? I said, never heard of him.
Right.
He said, well, he wrote a song about you like in 15 years ago. I said, I
Did
never
he?
heard it. And he sent it to me. It's a video like where he's talking about that jacket with all the teams on
Yeah.
it, you know, and
Yuck definitely was somebody who was wearing that jacket.
Yeah.
Even though he's from the Bay Area, he always had like an East Coast style of
Yeah.
dress. Yuck got a little flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I think you definitely owe, although you were out in the 80s, mid 80s, and you showed me Martin Lawrence wearing your prints, in my generation, the Harlem Diplomats are 100% responsible for the success of that team jacket. They did I think a photo shoot in Source magazine, maybe around 2003, and it was just incredible. Did a really, really good job. I'm a very big fan of the Diplomats. That jacket was like very, very prestigious in the hoods. I hate to be the one to tell you, a lot of people got robbed for that jacket. That jacket was a big.
I know. I didn't want to hear those story. I knew a lot of people where you know, when we start getting, before even that jacket, a lot of people were getting robbed for my jacket. They were talking a lot about the kicks, but not as much about the jacket. They were talking about like some of the other competitors' jackets,
Right.
but not mine, thankfully. But no, that jacket became a staple that. It seems to me, and especially I brought it down where I had the version which was a wool and leather, which was not as expensive. It was still expensive. It was $600-700, but
Right.
it was a little bit affordable, you know, compared to the full leather. And it seems that if you didn't have, you had to have that jacket. It was something you had to have to just. It was a status symbol.
Okay. Explain to my viewers how you. Last night we were in conversation. You was explaining to me how different garments you would do your own knockoff, basically making the garment affordable to people in different classes.
It's really not a knockoff. I mean, what I meant by I mean, it's a takedown. So
Okay.
basically, I have. It's like you have. I'm not going to compare myself to Mercedes, but you have like the big top Mercedes, and you make a Mercedes affordable to everybody else.
Right.
So you have like the 5 Series and you have the 3 Series, or the BMWs, the 5, the 7, and the 3 Series.
Right.
Looks almost the same, but it's not the same. So it's kind of like for everybody's budget. So what I did was basically, instead of doing the whole leather with all the logos, appliques in leather, I would do it in embroidery, I would do it in wool, I put a little leather on it, but I still give the same cachet of look, the same fit, look really and felt almost the same.
Right.
But instead of paying $2,000 or $2,500 for a jacket, you were paying $600-700 for a jacket.
Your favorite jacket, according to you, was the three-peat that you did for Michael Jordan.
Yes.
You think that's better than the Kobe Bryant?
I don't know. It's just it was maybe a moment in time
Okay.
that it felt great, you know. And you know, listen, of course, listen. I love Michael, and Kobe has a very special place in my heart, you know, because I met him when he was 17.
Okay.
And I mean, and there is a lot of jackets I've made over my lifetime that I'm very proud of. I mean, I made a jacket for Nelson Mandela.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, just for me to have Nelson Mandela wearing my jacket, it's just such an
It's
iconic
crazy.
thing. I mean, President Clinton, or even the Drake jacket that I made for Drake for when Kobe did his last All-Star game. I mean, those
Right.
are jackets I'm very proud of. You know, or the 50 greatest players. I did the 50 greatest players jackets in the NBA.
Okay.
So for me to design a jacket for every single greatest players in the NBA was.
So the weekend that they announced the NBA's 50 greatest players the first time, you made a jacket for those guys?
1997, yeah, in Cleveland, yeah.
Incredible, incredible. Tell me how somebody like Michael Jordan approaches Jeff Hamilton for a jacket, or how were you guys put together?
As I recall, I think it was Magic who put me together with him, and actually, you know, the first guy that actually reached out to me, it was not Magic, it was Reggie Theus.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was friends with his wife.
Got it.
And she used to buy a lot of Guess jeans for me at the time.
Got it. Was he with Sacramento at the time?
It was with Kansas City Royals. And then he moved from Kansas City Royals to Sacramento.
Sacramento, okay.
Kings. And then he started referring me to all his friends. And one day I get a call, Michael Jordan's on the phone.
Right.
I mean, they told me he was going to call me. You know, I knew that. They said, we're going to give information to Michael. And he was well known. I mean, I had seen him play in 1984 at the Olympics, but everybody knew Michael. You know, obviously, Jordan was, the brand was like already building up. And I get a call, and my secretary says, there's a guy called Michael Jordan on the phone. I mean, I think it's a joke, you know.
A guy called Michael
And he
Jordan.
was not even the Michael that we even know now. I mean, the way of his name sound carries right now.
Right.
And I pick up the phone and said, Jeffrey, this is Mike, you know. And I started making some jackets for him here and there, you know. And then obviously through the championship, I made a jacket for every single championship. I made a jacket for his kids. I went with him to Barcelona. I went to every single playoff game, not every single finals game he ever played. Every single playoff game he ever
Oh,
played.
man.
And in fact, I mean, the last shot, when you made that shot with Bryon Russell, I mean, that picture, that most iconic picture, I mean, like, the tiny little one on the 7 or 8 row, I'm like the little Waldo there.
So you definitely an avid basketball fan.
Oh, definitely, yeah, sure.
Tell me how you feel about the NBA season being postponed this year.
Well, you know, at this time, at this moment in time, I think it's difficult to kind of evaluate what the coronavirus means,
right.
or its implication, or are we overreacting? Are we underreacting? We don't know yet. So there's so much out there that we don't know. I mean, I think the reality is better safe than sorry.
Right.
And I truly trust the powers in the NBA to make the right decision. And if we can avoid a few people infected and some people, and possibly some casualties, I think it's the right thing. Obviously, it's not in last season. If we lose 2 months now and we get in the summer,
right,
better, because in the summer, I tell you, without sports, it's a little difficult.
It's hectic, yeah.
It's hectic.
I tried watching Sports Center earlier today. It was different. It was a different experience. I don't think I've ever, in my lifetime, lived through. No professional in college sports.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, you know, like in the summer this year, we're going to have the Olympics. Who knows if we're going to have the Olympics? And I know it's going to be an issue because some of the NBA players are playing with the USA basketball.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work? I have no idea. I mean, I remember in 1999 when they had the lockout and they had a 50-game season. It didn't sound the same. I mean, the feeling was not the same. So, but I'm kind of excited because the Lakers are doing so well, and you know, I'd love to see the Lakers bring one for Kobe this year. That would be such an amazing achievement, you know.
The recent passing of Kobe Bryant, how did that affect you as a person, being that you had a relationship with him?
I think that it didn't affect me more than anybody else.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not that special that didn't affect me. I think everybody was affected. My mother is 86 years old. She was affected. My family, my friends, people I've never even seen him play were affected.
Right.
Because he represented something even more than just a basketball player. He transcended the whole idea of that determination, the hard-working guy, that is charismatic, that has that family aspect. And you know, people always talk about his past, you know, and people make mistakes and different things, but the way he was as a father, and his little daughter that just got lost, and all the other people that died, it's just tragic. And you can tell that he had a beautiful family, and he really made a difference in people's lives. Because when I talk to some of the kids out there, I say, you know, I remember being 6, 7 years old. My father sat me down in front of the TV and bought me a jersey, a Kobe jersey, and made me watch the games.
Watch the game, right.
And that's how those kids, I mean, today they know my jacket from 2002.
Was that the first championship
No,
jacket?
2000. 2000 the
2000?
first one. We did 2000, 2001, 2002.
And you made them for him and Shaq as a pair, or you did the whole team?
Originally, I did only the Kobe and Shaq, and then the third year I did for the whole team.
What size leather does Shaq wear?
Oh God! I mean, and keep in mind, he's a big boy.
Very big.
On top of that, if you remember, I mean, you're probably very young. You're much younger than me, but you probably remember at that time everybody wore everything oversized, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if you were like a medium, you would wear a double X.
So he wanted a big jacket.
He wanted a big jacket, so I made an 8X.
8X.
And Kobe was a 4X.
Oh, wow. What type of inspiration goes into the design of a jacket that you made for a team with the illustrious history as the Los Angeles Lakers? Obviously, the design would have to be colorful.
Yeah, the big mistake that all the people do, I mean, one of the things that I had in the NBA and the sports league was that I brought something to the table that other people didn't do it. And now it's starting to come up in collaboration with different people. The fact that I was a designer and my name was a designer as to the teams. When everything you had, great companies, beautiful companies. Starter, Chalkline, I don't know, any other brand, whatever, Adidas, but it was not the name of a person that was associated the same way we have regular fashion. So I really wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And all those companies, respectfully, they do beautiful jobs, but